Is something being hidden from the public? Why did the atmosphere in Los Angeles suddenly turn tense just because of one statement from Taehyung? And more shockingly, why did Jungkook seem panicked when the news spread? The warm night in Los Angeles turned into one full of question marks when two BTS members, Taehyung and Jungkook, were caught on camera being in the same city, but with different agendas. In the midst of media and fan attention, Taehyung suddenly gave a shocking statement about JIN's health condition, a statement that instantly made Jungkook fall silent and look worried. This incident happened only a few hours before JIN was scheduled to arrive in Los Angeles after completing his packed solo tour schedule. But what made the situation even more mysterious was the way Taehyung delivered it. Not through an official stage or a scheduled interview, but in the middle of a casual event at a location not announced to the public. Taehyung's words were short, but enough to cause an uproar. Meanwhile, fans' cameras who happened to be there caught Jungkook's reaction looking uneasy, staring at Taehyung as if he wanted to stop him from speaking. The question now, what exactly did Taehyung mean by JIN's health condition? Was this just a spontaneous comment, or is there actually something that has been deliberately kept from ARMY worldwide? The fact that both of them were in Los Angeles at the same time as JIN's arrival was certainly no coincidence. Sources close to BTS management revealed that Taehyung was in the city for a meeting with international agency representatives regarding his solo project. Jungkook, on the other hand, came for a brand endorsement agenda involving several big names in the fashion industry. However, the situation changed drastically once the news about JIN began to circulate. Several eyewitnesses reported that after Taehyung's statement spread, the atmosphere at the location where they were became much more serious. Jungkook was seen repeatedly lowering his head, fiddling with his phone with a tense face, while Taehyung chose to leave the area early. Not long after, various speculations began to emerge on social media, from suspicions that JIN was experiencing severe exhaustion after the tour, to more worrying rumors about possible long-standing health issues that had not been revealed to the public. What made this situation even hotter was the fact that JIN himself had not given any statement. Even HYB management chose to remain silent. This silence instead triggered an even bigger wave of speculation, as ARMY around the world felt there was something intentionally being kept from them. Some fans even compared this situation to previous moments when BTS members faced health problems, but still tried to appear in front of the public as if everything was fine. But on the other hand, some suspected that this was just part of a hidden promotional strategy for a project involving JIN, Taehyung, and Jungkook. However, for those familiar with BTS's communication patterns, moments like this rarely happen without a clear reason. Taehyung is known as someone who is careful in choosing his words, especially when it comes to the condition of other members. The fact that he dared to reveal this in a public setting shows that this was not just a joke or a small issue. When JIN finally arrived in Los Angeles, media cameras immediately turned to him, trying to capture signs that might confirm or deny the news. However, JIN appeared as usual, smiling, waving, and showing no gestures indicating he was ill. But sharp-eyed fans who observed the video footage claimed that the smile seemed thinner than usual, and there was a slight tension in his body movements. The question, was this just the effect of fatigue from a long tour, or was there a more serious health condition behind it? And why did Jungkook seem so panicked? In some video clips, it was clear that he was trying to approach Taehyung after that statement, as if wanting to ask for clarification or even silence the rumor that had just begun. That brief interaction sparked the theory that Jungkook might know something the public doesn't. Some South Korean entertainment industry observers stated that situations like this are very sensitive, especially considering BTS's image as a group that always maintains a close relationship with fans. Unclear information could damage that trust. But at the same time, it is this mystery that makes the public even more glued to every news development. ARMY is now monitoring every social media post from the members, looking for signs that might explain what is actually happening in Los Angeles. As time goes by, the pressure on management to provide clarification grows. However, HYB still chooses to remain silent. Meanwhile, the rumors are getting wilder, from suspicions of serious health problems to speculation about an incident that happened behind the scenes of JIN's tour that made him need special medical attention upon arriving in LA. In situations like this, every small gesture, every word, And even every photo posted on social media becomes material for deep analysis by fans around the world. At the time this article was written, there had been no official confirmation from any party. However, one thing is certain. The moment when Taehyung openly talked about JIN's condition and Jungkook's panicked reaction will be one of those events ARMY will find hard to forget. Is this the beginning of a massive revelation about BTS members' condition? Or is it just a small storm that will calm down once an official statement is released? One thing is for sure, the eyes of the whole world are now on Los Angeles, waiting for answers from these three big names: Taehyung, Jungkook, and JIN. After days of the public being stirred up by circulating rumors, from video snippets to wild speculation on social media, some facts have finally begun to surface. The news that had millions of ARMYs worldwide worried turned out to be not entirely true. In fact, most of it was the result of misinterpretation, exaggerated media framing, and moments taken completely out of context. Initially, Taehyung's statement, which became the trigger for all this chaos, was delivered at a casual gathering, not an official press conference or scheduled interview. The original source footage, which was later reviewed, showed that Taehyung's words about JIN's health were actually said jokingly. He mentioned health in the context of JIN being tired from a busy schedule, but his tone was relaxed and filled with laughter. Unfortunately, the video that first went viral only showed the beginning of his statement, without including the laughter and his following explanation, making it appear serious and triggering a massive misunderstanding. Jungkook's reaction, which was labeled as panic, also turned out not to be the sign of extreme concern it was assumed to be. In the full-length video, Jungkook was actually turning to call over a staff member who was holding his brand endorsement contract documents in LA. The expression that appeared tense was just a brief moment when he was trying to manage the crowd at the venue and ensure his schedule ran smoothly. But once again, the video snippet spread on social media only showed a few seconds of the situation, enough to craft a dramatic narrative in the public's eyes. The next fact reinforcing the falsity of this news was JIN's own condition. Upon arriving in Los Angeles, JIN did undergo a brief health check, which was simply part of international travel protocol, not because he was ill, but as a standard procedure after a long tour. The checkup results showed no serious issues, only normal fatigue from a packed schedule and time differences. In fact, the next day JIN was seen attending a casual meetup with some old friends at a popular LA cafe, smiling widely at fans who recognized him. HYB's official sources eventually released a short statement through South Korean media, affirming that the reports about JIN's serious health problems were false. They stressed that all BTS members, including JIN, were in good health and were currently carrying out their respective overseas schedules. However, this statement was only issued a few days after the rumor broke, and that time gap was enough for speculation to grow wild. This phenomenon once again proved how quickly information can turn into sensation, especially when it involves a name as big as BTS. With just a few seconds of video, the right narrative framing, and a dash of emotion, the public can be led to believe in something that never happened. Social media, with algorithms prioritizing viral content, only accelerates the spread of unverified information for ARMY. The important lesson from this incident is the need to verify information before believing and spreading it. While feeling concern for one's favorite idols is natural, letting oneself be swept up by rumors can cause harm, not only to fans, but also to the artists who become the target of the issue. In this case, JIN himself admitted he was confused when he heard the rumor that he was seriously ill upon just arriving in LA. He even joked in a small fan meeting interaction, "If I'm sick, how could I be here drinking coffee?" Jungkook and Taehyung, in a brief interview a few days later, gave clarifications confirming that they were not talking about any serious health issues. Taehyung smiled and said that his comment at the time was just a spontaneous joke, while Jungkook added that his facial reaction in the viral video was completely unrelated to the topic being discussed. However, regardless of the truth that has now been revealed, this incident highlights one interesting fact: the massive influence BTS has on the public, to the point where even their casual moments can be misinterpreted into global breaking news. Within just hours, an issue starting from a single fan account can spread to major media, be translated into multiple languages, and trigger emotional reactions from millions. For the entertainment industry, this is a real example of how a narrative can be built from tiny pieces of information. For fans, it's a reminder that not everything seen on screen is the full picture of reality. In today's fast-paced world, where a 5-second clip can go more viral than a 30-minute official interview, context is often the first casualty. With all the confirmed facts, it is clear that the news about Jungkook's panic and Taehyung's statement on JIN's health in Los Angeles is false. There was no health crisis, no emergency incident, and no hidden drama as many imagined. What really happened was just a casual moment in the middle of a busy schedule, which was later cut and given a dramatic narrative, making it look like a major scandal. Now, the three members have continued their respective activities without any obstacles. JIN is preparing his next project, Jungkook is continuing his collaboration with a major brand, and Taehyung is in the process of finalizing his solo music. Meanwhile, ARMYs who were once worried can now breathe a sigh of relief, while also being more alert to future circulating news. This incident will always serve as a reminder that in the digital information era, truth often needs to be pursued, not simply accepted. And although this time the news turned out to be false, there is still an important takeaway. Never underestimate the power of a narrative, because from one sentence and one facial expression, the world can be shaken, even if only for a moment.